Hello beautiful people, welcome to my channel. If you are a new subscriber, welcome. If you are a returning subscriber, welcome back. Everything that I use in this video will be listed down below. Also, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss whenever I post another video. Let's get straight into it. I like to start off by doing my brows first, and I just trace my natural brow shape. And I like to start at the bottom first and then work my way to the top and then fill in whatever needs to be filled in. Your brows do not have to be 100% perfect because the concealer will help make it nice and crispy. Also, your brows are supposed to be sisters, not twins, but I like to have my brows as close as possible. And now I'm just going in with a little bit of concealer to clean up under the brows as well as to prime my lids. The normal concealer that I use, I'm running out, so I decided not to use that one for this particular video. But you want to make sure that you have a good concealer, nothing that's too bright, but one that's pretty much close to your skin tone. And as you can see, this one is a lot lighter than what I like for under my brows. I prefer this more so on the lid, but I will go in with another concealer to kind of cover that a little bit. Once that you have everything nice and blended, you want to go in with some translucent powder to set the lid to make sure you don't receive any creasing. I like to do this instead of going directly in with my eyeshadow. Sometimes when you go directly in with your eyeshadow, you can still receive creasing throughout the day. So it's best to use a light layer of translucent powder. And now I'm going in with a concealer that's closer to my skin tone to carve out the top portion of my brows. This is just to help bring everything together. You can also use your foundation if you want instead of going in with concealer, but sometimes I like to do concealer and sometimes I don't. It just depends on my mood. And for this look, I felt like this palette was perfect. So I'm going in with this brown shade and I'm applying that to the outer corner. And I'm just pressing it into place before lightly blending out the edges. And I want to make sure that I apply a little at a time, but still build the color up because I don't want that brown to really show through like that. And to blend out those edges even further, I'm going in with this light tan shade and I'm just lightly going on top as well as above, and I'm just blending out the edges. That gives me a smooth transition. You can start off with a transition color if you want to, it just depends on you. And now that that is all blended out, I'm gonna go in with this gray shade and I'm applying it to the outer corner. And whatever is left on the brush, I'm just fading it into the other color. So again, everything blends together because I wanted that back area to be more of a smoky effect. Then I just grab that brush without applying any more product to help blend out the edges a little bit more. And I'm just going to apply a little bit of that gray towards the inner corner, just a little bit, so when I cut the crease that it shows through. And I just added a little bit of that brown to kind of blend that out a little more. And for this particular cut crease, I'm just going to follow my natural crease and I'm going to apply that concealer a little bit above my natural crease and just follow that all the way back. As I'm applying it, I'm kind of like blending it out a little bit so that I don't have just a solid wet patch in one area and then some dry spots in another area. And I like to take my finger to kind of blend out the edges. That way, when I go to apply another color, everything blends together. You also can just go directly into the gray shade or whatever shade you use in the outer corner. But I like to go in with my finger first and then apply a little more color. And for this look, I'm using this silver shade and I'm applying that all over the rest of the lid, making sure that I really build this up and pack it on. And you want to make sure you applying a little at a time so that you don't miss anything. And just to get rid of that harsh line that you may still see, I am going to go over that area a little bit as well. Without applying any extra product to the brush, whatever is remaining is what I like to use to kind of blend those two together to again get rid of any harsh lines. For this look, at first I didn't want to use eyeliner, but then I decided to go in with a little bit of gel liner. And I'm doing it very light and very thin because I didn't want the liner to be bold. And once you're satisfied with how everything turned out, repeat the same steps on the opposite side. Now that that's done, I'm going in with some primer and I'm just making sure that my entire face is covered. Now with this foundation, I decided to blend it out with my hand because I tested it out the other day and I loved the way it looked. But for some reason in this video, it did not look that good to me. So I am going to go in with another foundation. Instead of taking this part out, I decided to leave it in so you guys won't be confused on how I went from one thing to the next. And now I'm just applying on my go-to foundation, and I'm just applying it on like I normally do, making sure that everything is nicely blended before moving on. And to highlight my face, I'm going in with this concealer. And I thought for this look that this concealer may have been a little too light, but it actually don't look that bad. A little go a long way. You really don't need that much, but it's okay because I made it work. When blending out the concealer, I like to blend out the edges first, so that's what I'm doing. And for the brows, the reason why I used that brush because I wanted to make sure that my brows stay nice and crispy. And now I'm just blending out the rest of that concealer. Whatever was remaining on the foundation brush is what I used to help clean up the rest of that concealer on the forehead. And now again, I'm blending out the edges, making sure that I take my time when doing this because I don't want to touch that inner corner just yet. I want to make sure that everything else is nicely blended. And now I'm gonna go back in with that foundation brush to help clean up those edges. Again, nothing is on it. And now I'm gonna blend out the inner corner, making sure that I press lightly because you don't want to remove any of that extra product. You just want to blend it out. And I'm just making sure that I also blend that product towards my nose so it can kind of give me like that natural contour on my nose without having to go in with products just yet. Now I'm just taking this brush, this is an eyeshadow brush, and just setting that under eye into place before going in with my other powder to really set it into place. Everywhere that I apply that concealer is where I'm going in with this powder. And again, everything that I use will be listed down below. I almost forgot to finish my brows. I like to blend out my brows when I have the concealer there, but I forgot and applied the powder there first. But you want to make sure that you blend out before then. Now I'm going in with a little bit of bronzer just to bring some color back into my face. And with this bronzer, a little goes a long way. That's why I only kind of dip in there once or twice. And now I'm just going back over each area with that foundation brush to help blend out everything. I'm also going to add that same bronzer to my nose, even though because of how the concealer went, I didn't necessarily need it, but I wanted it to stand out just a little bit. And this part is optional, but I like to do it. I like to apply a little bit of powder underneath that bronzer just to give it that more snatched look. And now I'm just going in with some pressed powder to dust away all that extra powder and to set everything else into place. And to set my brows into place, I like to go in with some translucent powder. And I also went in with a little bit of that translucent powder underneath the eyes to kind of really give it that nice smooth look. And then I went in with my pressed powder just to kind of tone that color down a little bit because it kind of gave me that ashy look, and you don't want that. Once you have that excess powder dusted away, go in with your setting powder, fixing spray, whatever it is that you use. For the lips, I wanted to keep it kind of on the natural side, with just a little bit of color. So I went in with a tan lip stick, and then went in with a little brown lip liner, and then I added a little bit of gloss on top because I didn't want the lips to stand out as much as I did the eyes. I hope y'all enjoyed this video as much as I did making it. Also, everything that I use will be listed down below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss whenever I post another video. I also did my lashes off camera, and here's the finished look. I hope y'all enjoyed. And Happy New Year to you and your loved ones, and I hope everybody be safe.